WFMY-TV. And now, the Piedmont's top-rated newscast, News 2 Tonight with Bill Chopal, meteorologist Randy Jackson, and Mark Huncannon, sports.
Good evening. It's 4 games down and 3 to go as the first night of the ACC basketball tournament winds down. Some people are celebrating. Others, like Carolina fans, as we just saw, are about to mourn. But Bill Logan tells us everyone has a goal or a mission.
I don't think that he did. The action tonight, as expected, was fast and furious, both inside on the hardwood and outside on the asphalt. These two state fans showing up early to look for tickets.
We had them for the first game here, but we didn't have any for the night session.
So now it's Quest again.
It's Quest again. It's cold weather, too. It's going to be tough.
And while others tried with little success to capture the precious paper that guarantees a seat, Randy and his friend Jack Hussey found 2. So they became part of the big party inside.
Basketball's basketball. You say you're a state fan, but I love it all. Doesn't matter who's playing.
And while the bands warmed up the crowd inside the Coliseum, another group warmed up by themselves outside.
It's called tailgating, but when the weather gets cold like this, most of the partying goes on in mobile homes, just like this one.
What do y'all think about that Clemson Georgia Tech game?
12 guys packed themselves into this motor home, which was packed to the rafters with all the essentials.
Wine, women, and song.
That's the key to the
That's absolutely, that's it. No question about it.
This is your motor home. People in here are they're raising cane.
That's what we invited them to do. We've been doing this for like 7 or 8 years now, and these are all friends of mine, and so we just look, having a big time.
Big time indeed. Once a year, every year, these men get together to raise a few and talk sports.
Everybody has a different thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. We all really pull for players more than anything.
And more than anything, they like the festival atmosphere that surrounds the tournament, regardless where it is. They say they've already started thinking about what they'll do next year in Landover, Maryland. In the Coliseum parking lot, Bill Logan, News 2 Tonight.
Trying to find a place to park during the tournament is almost like playing a game of musical chairs. Parking spaces are at a premium, and that drives fans into the neighborhood near the Coliseum in search of that precious space. Residents say they don't care if people park in front of their homes as long as they don't block driveways or tear up yards.
And I have a grandmother who's old, and I don't like them to block my driveway because if I had to get to her over to the Masonic home, I'd be in bad shape.
I've just learned to live with it. It's a way of life here. You don't get near the house, and you're used to it.
I'll be glad to see them. Their company, and you enjoy seeing the people from out of town coming into Greensboro.
Some residents have adopted the attitude, if you can't beat them, join them. They allow people to park in their yards, but for a price. Inside the Coliseum, more than just basketball there. Fans want mementos, too. They crowd around the vendors to buy shirts, hats, pens, and pom-poms. In all, hundreds of thousands of dollars will be spent this weekend. Commissions go to the contractor in the Coliseum. The net profit goes to the ACC bank account. Inside the arena today was a man who didn't buy a ticket, and part of his mission was to buy souvenirs to resell to ACC fans who aren't here.
Resell's cheap. All you got to do is just come up to me and ask me what price it is. But you can't get unless you're in here. We got sweatshirts, ACC sweatshirts. We got programs here. Somebody around town wants to buy them. They can't get in here, but I'll get them for them. They can have it in. The right price talks, money talks.
Ain't that the truth? And tomorrow there'll be time to shop at the traditional retail outlet. Regardless where you go, though, it takes gas to make your car move. Across the Piedmont, prices at the pump are falling. For that matter, they've hit a 7-year low. Susan McMullen tells us tonight that trend is expected to continue.
Only 2 months ago, prices looked like this. Today, they look more like this. But how long will the downward trend continue?
I don't think it'll last. Maybe a couple months, maybe through the summer, possibly. But other than that, I think it'll probably go back up. So I'll take advantage of it as I can.
Yeah. You think they'll last?
Oh, I hope so. You never know, though, huh? The way the economy goes.
But gas station owners say prices reflect what's happening in the Middle East. OPEC countries are overproducing, and that's pushing down prices.
It would continue as long as the Persian Gulf War. It will continue.
But fuel prices aren't only dropping at the gas pump. They're also dropping at home. The cost of home heating oil also has hit a 7-year low.
We think that the trend will be continuing to go down unless something drastic happens, and of course we certainly hope that it does go down.
But Duquay agrees that will happen only as long as OPEC ministers fail to limit oil production. In Greensboro, Susan McMullen, News 2 Tonight.
Some textile workers in Greensboro believe their wages and benefits should be improved, so they tried to vote in a union to solve their problems. But despite their confidence, 53% of the employees at Bates Nightwear have rejected an organizing attempt, and that confidence turned to disappointment.
I suppose we'll just have to suffer the consequences. We'll still be without better benefits, which I think we do need those.
Some of those benefits included being paid for time when machines break down. Company spokesmen say the decision should send a clear message to the Textile Workers Union that employees want no part of it. It's an entirely different story in Alamance County tonight, where authorities have been trying to find the cause of a fatal fire. 4 people died last weekend when flames swept through this house in Elon College. Tonight, investigators say someone apparently fell asleep while smoking a cigarette. It smoldered in a living room sofa and then spread to the rest of the dwelling. The probe also shows that each of the victims had been drinking. Their blood alcohol content ranged between 0.19 and 0.27. 0.10 is legally intoxicated. In addition to that, authorities say deadbolt locks prevented the victims from escaping the spreading flames. It now costs less to buy money, and some cheap tickets are going fast. But not for the ACC. We'll have both stories for you in just a minute. The cost of borrowing money is less expensive tonight. The prime lending rate has been cut for the first time in 8 months. It's down a half point to 9%. Wachovia Bank has followed the lead set at Chase Manhattan and Chemical. Now, the ball started rolling when the Federal Reserve discount rate was dropped to 7%, and that's the lowest it's been in 8 years. An attempt to get wage cuts and concessions at TWA has fallen through, and tonight the flight attendants are on strike. As a result, about half the flights scheduled at TWA have been canceled. Spokesmen say the issue should be resolved within the next 5 days, but even then, the walkout will have cost about $50 million. A strike was averted at Eastern Airlines last week, and the fares were cut immediately. Jim Bradley tells us tonight it's now hard to get a seat on one of those planes.
For Eastern Airlines lately, it has been feast or famine. And now, with a new owner in Texas Air and financial troubles seemingly behind them, it's feast.
Eastern Airlines is time.
At Eastern's Charlotte Reservation Center, 900 employees are working unlimited overtime and booking trips in record numbers.
Telephone calls are up dramatically, and bookings are up in excess of 45% over what we expected.
What has prompted this bonanza is the same thing that's made other airlines boom lately: prices. Eastern now has joined the low-fare war, matching $39 one-way fares between Charlotte and Newark. 2 weeks ago, the Super Saver rate on Eastern was $118. The fare wars are great for flyers, but the impact on the industry is still up in the air. Analysts say it's quickly becoming an industry where only the giants will survive, and those industry analysts suggest that independents like Piedmont may have to merge. But with record profits last year, that's not happening yet.
There has been a lot of mergers, but no one really knows at this point whether the merger is good. We've seen a lot of them go on, but we don't know what the outcome's going to be from it.
And so, while Piedmont hasn't ruled out a merger, it is also unconvinced that you have to be bigger to be better.
Jim Bradley reporting for the Carolina News Network.
Some may fly, some may drive, but Sunday about 100 people from our state are expected to join others from across the country for a march on women's rights, the right to have an abortion. About 45 members of the Greensboro chapter of NOW will be part of that group. They say the march is crucial because anti-abortionist marches like these are mounting a successful campaign.
In the United States, the right of a woman to control her own reproductive freedom is under serious attack by the radical right and is being supported by the current administration. So we feel that at this time, it is time for us to stand up, to be counted, to say, no, you may not take this right away from us.
Leary claims anti-abortionists are putting women's rights in jeopardy with marches like this one and attacks on abortion clinics. She says Sunday's pro-choice demonstration is expected to be the largest in NOW history. Well, it's cooled off quite a bit, but that doesn't mean we're falling into a deep freeze. John Baladowicz will have the weekend forecast when we return. Last time I saw the outdoors was about 1:30 this afternoon. The temperature was about 60 degrees, and I understand when I go out in a few minutes, I'm going to be in for a surprise.
Quite a change has taken place since you came to work today. Boy, we've gone from early spring back to the dead of winter tonight. Good news is it's only going to be around for a day or so. Things are going to start warming up once again by Sunday. Here are the numbers for today. 57 was the high today. That was about the time Bill came to work. And you get a peek at our current temperature, which is also our low for today, down to 29 already this evening. 81, the record high on this date in 1974, and 17, the record low, set back in 1960. 29 degrees, as I said, under clear skies. Humidity 34%. The winds are northwest at 8 miles per hour, and the barometer continues to rise. It's at 30.18 inches. Look at that, 19 degrees up in the Roanoke area tonight. Things are really cooling off in the Old Dominion. 24 in Richmond, 27 in Danville right now. Down toward the southern and eastern parts of North Carolina, still a little bit milder as the cold air continues to move very slowly from north to south. Still 50 in Wilmington, pretty nice 55 at Myrtle Beach, but that's only for the time being as that cold air continues to push further on to the south later tonight. Even the coastal temperatures will be dropping quite dramatically during the overnight period. Satellite tonight showing still cloudy weather over New England, back to the Great Lakes states. A few areas of light rain along the Texas coast and a few thunderstorms over western Texas. But the big news for us is that big mass of Arctic air that has moved down out of Canada quite rapidly over the past few days. And during the course of the afternoon, you notice the clouds that passed through the state. That was the leading edge of that very cold air. But once again, the good news is it's going to be around tonight and tomorrow only. And it looks like starting Sunday, we're going to start to warm up once again. Now, it's all being caused by this area of high pressure that tomorrow will be sitting smack dab over the Tar Heel State. And that's going to lessen our winds a little bit. It's been quite gusty today. The winds are already starting to drop off tonight, and they'll continue to be kind of variable, 10 or less tomorrow. But lots of sunshine from the Great Lakes all the way through the southeast down into Florida. As the high works its way off the coast, we'll start to pick up a southerly and southwesterly wind flow on Sunday, and that's going to start to warm our temperatures up. But for the daytime hours Saturday, only in the 40s statewide from the mountains to the coast, 20s and even a few teens up in northern Maine tomorrow. These 60s and 70s will be starting to head back toward our state, though by the first part of next week. Here's our forecast now for tonight. Kind of chilly, so bundle up to keep warm. Fair skies, breezy and cold. Temperatures by morning between 15 and 20 degrees, and northwesterly winds 10 to 15, diminishing during the overnight period. Looking ahead to Saturday, more sunshine. It'll be cool, though. High only 40 to 45 tomorrow afternoon, and variable winds at about 10 miles per hour or less. Fair and cool tomorrow night, but not quite as cool. Lows will be in the upper 20s. Then for Sunday, a nice rebound as the high moves offshore. Southwest winds come back, partly cloudy skies, and a high near 60 degrees. For Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to stay on the mild side with temperatures all through the period. Should be in the 60s, Bill, so we've got that cooling trend for tonight and tomorrow, but it won't be around too long.
All right, button up the overcoat.
That's right.
Okay. Thanks, John. When we come back, we'll tell you about a troubleshooter on the move and a guru looking for a home. Stay with us. First, he was sent to Lebanon, then to the Philippines. Now he's off to Central America. President Reagan is sending his diplomatic troubleshooter, Philip Habib, to El Salvador to meet with President Jose Napoleon Duarte. His mission is to negotiate a peace plan for Nicaragua. Part of the framework has already been put together by Duarte. During this session at the White House, President Reagan said, "Let there be no mistake. A diplomatic solution must be accompanied by, quote, an increased level of pressure on the Nicaraguan communists." Reagan is under increasing pressure of his own from Congress to reach a settlement. He says that could be done only if there's additional aid to the consulate, which Congress has yet to approve. Another man who's been doing some negotiating is deposed Haitian President Jean-Claude Duvalier. He's a man without a country. No one wants him, but the French are tolerating him. Duvalier, his wife, and 6 children were supposed to remain in France for just 8 days, but they had nowhere to go. Tonight they have new surroundings, a rented villa on the Riviera. Now, this is complete with tennis courts and a swimming pool. But the French say this is only temporary. They want him out of the country and are criticizing the U.S. because we haven't done enough to help Duvalier find asylum. He fled from Haiti more than a month ago in the wake of the violent protests against his regime. Also on the run is Indian guru Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. You remember him. First, he left the United States after being convicted of violating immigration laws. Then he went to India and Nepal. From there, it was to Greece, but he was deported. The next up on the Bhagwan was England, but the British closed the door on him, and the Guru spent last night at Heathrow Airport. Tonight, he's still searching for a haven, and the word is the Bhagwan is flying his big jet to an island somewhere in the Caribbean. Well, the first cut of the ACC tournament is complete. What a way to do it, huh? And in just a minute, we'll join Mark Concannon live at the Coliseum, so don't go away. The first round of the ACC tournament, the quarterfinals over. What a first round, 4 games down, 3 to go. Mark Concannon standing by live at the Coliseum. How do you explain it? Quite an upset, Mark. Something very few people, I think, expected.
Well, Bill, the semifinals are set, and that Final Four, as you say, is not the field that everybody might have expected. Duke and Virginia in Game 1 tomorrow, and the second contest, Tech and the Terrapins. In the game you just saw here on Channel 2, Maryland beating Carolina. That's sort of the highlights of that one, where Tar Heel fans got an early scare. Joe Wolf hurting his ankle. He sat out the rest of the way, and that would be a big factor tonight. Maryland, hot early. Len Bias on the alley-oop. The Terps win it 13-9. But then Maryland would go cold, and Carolina coming on. Brad Zarney on the dunk. Heels up 6 in halftime. But the second half, a completely different game. Maryland could not miss from the outside. Jeff Baxter bombing away here from long range, and Maryland would break this one open late in the ball game. Terps win it big, 85-75. Now in the first game tonight, Georgia Tech advancing to the semifinal with an easy win over Clemson. Let's show you that one, where Bobby Freeman had to be happy with his team's defense. Mark Price on the steal, and Mark taking it all the way down for 2 points on the reverse layup. Dwayne Farrell hitting the jumper here, 11-4 Tech. Tigers coach Cliff Hellis not happy about that. Horace inside. He kept the Tigers in it on that dunk. A physical game. Dwayne Farrell missing his shot. Watch Bruce Darrell and Horace Grant get into it. A lot of contact all night long. Now Clemson did push and shove a lot, but could never get Tech out of its game. Price wound up with 20. John Sally did his share, too. The Spider-Man with an even dozen tonight. Tech would pull away late in the second half. The Jackets win it by 18, moving into the semifinals.
Clemson really came after us, and I guess they had nothing to lose. They're going all out. They have outstanding athletes, and I'm glad no punches were thrown because we can't afford to lose anyone.
Now, in Game 1 today, Duke knocking off Wake Forest. It was a lot closer than expected, but the Demon Deacs just could never turn the corner. Rich Roberts has the story.
Number 1 Duke and 8-seeded Wake Forest, and Bob Stack's team wants the upset. Check it out. First half, Charlie Thomas on the slam. Now, what's the nice move by Tyrone Bogue? Wake leads by 3 early. The Blue Devils take the lead before the halftime. David Henderson picked up 13 points in the first half, hops for 2. Mark Allery on the jam. Duke up by only 1 at halftime.
I always thought that we could win the game from the beginning, and definitely after we played in the first half, I thought that we were going to come out and win the game.
Second half, Duke pushes its lead. Johnny Dawkins gets the layup. Now Danny Ferry on the follow. Duke up by 9. The Demon Deacons still think upset. Check out Rod Watson on the jumper. He had 18. Mark Klein hits for 2. Wake gets within 3, but Wake can't get the shot to fall over the last 5 minutes. Henderson puts the game away with the jam, 68-60 Duke.
I felt that Wake was, they were much better prepared for this game than we were. I thought individually we did some good things, but collectively, which is our strong point, we just didn't play as well as the team, don't we?
I thought that, they were the team that we matched up with the best. And I thought we played probably as good as we could play. I think we got down to just how the ball rolled.
As expected, number 1 Duke advances to the semifinals to play Virginia. From the Greensboro Coliseum, Rich Roberts, News 2 Sports.
All right, Rich, Virginia and State played a great one in this afternoon's second contest. The Cavaliers coming out on top. Let's show you that one. Virginia coming out smoking, running off to an 8-2 lead. Mel Kennedy hits the jumper. But State coming back strong. Chris Washburn going up with authority on the inside. Scores, gets fouled. State up 25-24. Late in the half, Mel Kennedy hits his time runs out. UVA by 1 at intermission. In the final 90 seconds now, anybody's game, and Virginia with a big basket from guard John Johnson. The Cavs lead at 64-60. State with a chance to tie. Final seconds coming up here. Chris Washburn gets them close. Now watch it here. Virginia's Johnson hitting the hoop, and it looks like Virginia's going to win it, but Bolton with a last-second jumper, the chance to tie. It's no good, and Virginia wins it today. So let's recap all of the quarterfinal games. Quickly to the scoreboard, where we see that Carolina loses to Maryland, Tech over Clemson, Duke beating Wake, Virginia, Nip State, Big 8, Kansas over Kansas State, Kentucky beating LSU, St. John's at Villanova, Syracuse beating Georgetown, Memphis over South Carolina, Oklahoma by 3 over Missouri. A busy day comes to a close here, Bill, with 2 more busy ones to go. Let's send it back to you.
All right, you'll be back out there tomorrow, right? Thank you much, Mark. And in just a minute, we'll check the sights and sounds of a big 3-day party, so stay with us. The ACC basketball tournament is a society unto itself, made up of generous alumni who get tickets for their contributions, the not-so-wealthy who use almost every ounce of energy to get a ticket, and the people who go to the tournament simply to make a buck. Here's a look at them all, as edited and put together by photographer Paul Latwig.
Pay up to $150, $200 for them. I take tickets every year up to this year and have a little problem getting them this year yet.
The extra ticket. Who's got 2?
So if they go $100 for the night, I'll pay it.
We got 4 little old ladies that want to go very bad.
You guys got tickets for sale?
No, we don't.
Do you have tickets?
No. How much am I willing to pay? Don't want to break the law. Always kind of thought that, the ACC is a big party for them, and of course they're only interested in their team primarily, and so they enjoy just getting here and socializing and all.
That was today. Wait till tomorrow. Cheryl Kahn will be here at this time tomorrow. We'll be back Monday night at 6 and 7. We hope you have a good weekend, and we thank you for making these two a part of your day. Good night.
The Channel 2 Lake movie will not be seen this evening, so that we may bring you the following episode of Dalek.